It's been a long time since I've done any videos. I've actually just kind of hunkered down and just started concentrating on just getting stuff done instead of making videos and stuff like that over the last little while. So, you know, apologize for the lack of videos and stuff like that. But I figured today would be a good day to throw out another update video. What's sort of going on in this thing? As you can see, the engine is installed in the car, as you briefly saw in the last couple of videos there. Everything's pretty much together on the engine. The wiring harness is all installed. I was plumbing vacuum lines. Is also was doing some plumbing of, or I should say some re-engineering of some of the lines for the emissions control stuff. Yeah, you know that thing. This Milano, that particular one isn't rotten through, so hey, you know what, might as well use it since pressurized gas tanks kind of suck. Rebuilt the AC compressor as you saw in the last video. That's all hooked up. Rebuilt the cooling fan motor, installed the radiator. That looks pretty awesome. Hooked up the power steering, finished the braking system. I've got my Willwood proportioning valve there now, the metric version. That'll actually fit properly. Installed, you know, the wipers and got all that stuff working. As you can see, I've powered up the car, so you can see the wipers have scrubbed away the layer of dirt. So yeah, I think at this point the car would probably hold fluids most everywhere, except the fuel. I haven't hooked up this yet because I don't even know why. Probably because I'm just lazy. Anyways. Ooh, see? Stuff is working. I've got the dash in. Not fun to put a dash in one of these, I tell you. I mean, if you don't care, it's pretty easy. You can just slam it in there. But if you actually care about not busting shit, it's actually pretty difficult. Especially where this little center stack bit here, where the where that vent, I guess, meets the HVAC. There's like the little layer of foam I put on there, and it has to like just get on there just right, or else it just fucking ruins everything. That's just hanging down because it's actually easier to put the dash in when that's hanging down than with the pressure of the wires also pushing and forcing the dash out. So that's just a little tech tip. If the camera would actually focus. There you go. Installed the handbrake lever. I've assembled the steering wheel onto its hub. I actually did have the steering wheel assembled at one point and actually installed, but I was doing tons of under dash work, so it just became annoying, so I pulled it off again. I've reinstalled the seat belts. You can't even see it. They're all installed in the back, same as the center ones there too. I've pulled, before I put the dash in, I pulled tons of wire from like location to location. So I've got wire from like the bottom of here up to the center. I've got from the center down into the fuse box area. I've also got those links you saw in another video that go onto the carpet in behind to where I have another fuse box mounted in the trunk for accessory stuff. So yeah, I left, and so that way I don't have to like run wire after the fact. There's like wire I can just use. For example, like here's a couple here, right? So that these two here, they go underneath there, and then they can be connected to the engine bay spares that I ran as well. As you can see, they go up to the front of there for accessories. So that way you don't have to be trying to force wires through a dash once everything's together. The next thing I did, as you can see back in the trunk here, I have installed a remote entry system off of my auxiliary fuse box. It's a four channel basically remote relay. It's actually not technically an entry system. It's just honestly a remote relay. That's all I need for this. I just need to trigger the locks open, trigger the locks close, and then, as you can see, this big thick wire here, it runs to the trunk, and I have one of those big ass Spall trunk pulling solenoids coming in the mail, and that's what that relay is for the high power of that trunk pull. And so one of the channels is going to be for opening my trunk, because you know what I hate doing is walking up to the car, unlocking the door, opening the door, and pulling the trunk lever every single time I want to get into the trunk. I never even used the trunk of my last Milano because of that. It was so annoying. This key, not looking too hot these days, so I gotta be careful with that. It's the original key. Gotta be careful with it. So I figured the remote entry system was going to be a great idea so that I could save the key and get in the trunk easier. There's 4 channels, so the very last channel, I wired it into the back of the fuse box, and that just turns on my fog lights so that I can pull in front of something and just be able to flick on some lights. So if I pull and help somebody on the side of the road, I can flick the lights on or whatever. It's just basically a way I can get myself some light if I need to. So I figured, why not? So let's go test her out. Super cheap system there. Came from the good old Princess Auto up here in Canada. So yeah, it's not bad. So we got the door shut. Oh yeah, that's cool. I don't need any fancy gizmos or nothing. I just want lock, unlock, trunk, and some light. The other channels do go too, if you can probably hear it. So once that trunk solenoid's in there, that should pop the trunk for me. So yeah, I don't need any fancy alarm crap like that. I don't want to hack up the wiring harness of the car to put in immobilizers and all that crap in. I just want a basic functionality, and that's what that gave me. Very happy with it. So yeah, still moving along here. Bit of a long-winded video here, but things are coming along. Slowly getting the interior back together, which is just step by step, just putting stuff together. I broke the heating control, the one that I spent all that time on. I broke the damn thing. I didn't break it, actually. The little part on the back of this knob where the cable attaches actually snapped when I went to test it out. So I ordered another used climate control. I'm going to pull it apart and put that one little piece back on. So then I have to take apart the whole damn HVAC again, because that ain't going to happen. So yeah, still working away here. I'll put another update out when there's more to divulge.